Hey, hi. Today we are going to see about Python exception. Okay. Um, Before to understand better what is meant by exception, we just took a situation. Okay, assume like I just written a code. Okay, I just written assume like I just written a code. Okay, I just written some logic here. Let's say it starts from line number one. Okay, these are my lines. Okay, let's assume these are the lines which are drawn in white color. Okay, so it went till line number 50. Let's say I'm having a code with the line number 50. Okay, this is my end line 50. Starting line is 1. My assumption is like, okay, I have written the code, it will execute completely. I mean, completely means it starts from the execution starts from line number 1 and it will reach to the line number 50 and check all the conditions and loops and whatever things which logic I have handled over here, right? So it will pass through all the things. So successfully it will get ended in this particular 50 line number. This is my expectation. While executing what I'm facing, let's say for example, it is starting from line number 1. Once I reach the line number 20 or 25, I'm just facing an error. Okay. So it will not move further after line number 20. So this is the unexpected one. Okay. Then I realize I just made the code is fine. Okay. Whatever the logic which I written, it is as expected. But the values during the runtime, I'm just facing this error. So I just want the code supposed to execute completely without any interruption. Means it's supposed to start from line number one. It will reach at the end. Okay, that is my expectation, right? So but in line number 20 I'm just facing the error. I'm in an unexpected situation, right? So okay, what I'm trying so how can we avoid this kind of situation using a exception block? So what I'm doing is I'm just capturing this exception here. So instead of jumping from here to directly to the endpoint, previously we just faced this situation, right? The program get interrupted in line number 20. It won't take move forward and the execution got terminated at line number 25, right? So this time what I'm doing is I'm just handle the exception. So what will happen if the same exception raises? I'm just handling the same situation. Then again, whatever the logic which I have written over here, right? The same thing will execute here even after the exception raised. Then once, I mean, let's say it will execute the complete thing again. Okay, in the exception block, it will come to the normal block, normal flow. Okay, this is normal flow. This is exception flow, normal flow, and it will end the execution at this line number 50. Is it clear? So I'm just starting from line number 1. Unexpectedly, I'm just facing some issue during runtime at line number 25. So my code is jumping into exception block to take care this particular logic, whichever we have written over here, and executing all the logics and come back to the normal flow again, normal block, and execute the remaining things and complete the line number 50. Is it clear? So, so the way why we are going for exception. This is the purpose of handling the exception. Okay, even though we have written the code, it will execute properly. In some situations, based upon the input values or the processing methodologies or value which we are processing, there are so many things out there. So we can't expect to run our code in all the situations. So we need to take care of the exception things separately. Okay, how can I handle this? Using a exception syntax. So what is the syntax for exception handling? So it's a start with a try, okay, try, and here I need to write my logic. Okay, inside here I need to maybe, okay, I will complete the syntax first. Okay. So try and except, okay, and using a exception keyword, I'm just capturing this exception and capture it as a error or something. Okay, and here I'm doing some logic again here, and after that my code is getting terminated. So which are the two things I have additionally taken care? This one, try, and this one. Previously this is my logic, entire logic. Okay, this is my entire logic here, and here are the entire. If something happens between these lines, this lines, so it will go to the exception block and the exception get taken. Okay, I hope you guys are understood. If you are having any doubts, let me know in the comment box. We will discuss over there. We will see a small demo to understand better. Okay, so here I'm just declaring a variable 10 and declaring another variable 20. Okay, and I'm using a print statement. Okay. Print statement to print my output here. Okay, so let's say for example I just want to do a divided by b. So this is my logic. Let's say here I just declare the things properly. I just initialize the variables properly. I just use the parentheses and everything looks good. Means there is no syntax error. Okay, maybe one more thing I need to cover. Let's say for example here uh, this thing, the exception handling will take care only during the runtime errors. Okay, let's say here it will take care the runtime exceptions. I mean, there are two kinds of exception will raise. One is the syntax errors and runtime errors. Okay, so here syntax error means if I miss to mention any colon or if I miss to mention any default values for print statement or any functions, or if I'm mistakenly used keywords or I'm not defining a variable in a proper naming standard. So those things will comes under syntax. Okay, I just written the code without any mistake. So means so the syntax error won't come. Okay, so then the runtime errors will take care in this particular exception block, not the syntax error. That is the another one I just want to clarify. Okay. So here my code looks good, right? Fine, right? So I'm just executing my code. Okay, so here so means it is I'm getting the output. Okay, I'm just changing the value. Now I'm executing. Let's say I'm just getting the error, 0 division by error. Means my code is get interrupted at the middle, so it is not yet completed successfully. That means, let's say for example, here I'm just declaring another print statement, let's say with the default value end. Okay, here I'm using end of line. Okay. So is that while during exception it will reach the end of the line? No, not, because the exception has been handled here, raised here. So my program execution get terminated at the middle. So it won't reach to the, it won't execute the next statements. Okay. So how can we handle these situations? As we saw earlier, so we have to start with the try, and here I am just declaring a same thing 10 and b equal to 20 and print uh, parenthesis and here output. And here I am just doing a divided by b. Okay, and if and using exception as error. So I'm just capturing the error, whatever the error has been raised, right? So using this particular keyword, I'm just capturing the error values in this particular variable. So I'm just using a print statement. So to print what is the exception raised, right? So we just want to see it. Okay. So I'm just passing the error variable. So here, this is my thing. Okay. Maybe here I'm just putting another statement like end of line. Okay, let's say I have declared properly, right? So whatever the code which we written earlier, so this time what I have done, I just taken care inside my exception block. That's it. So whatever the exception has raised within this particular 4 lines of execution, while executing these 4 lines, my exception will raise and it will get captured here. Once it reaches here, so it will maybe, let's say for example, I'm just printing here. Okay, if else, let's say for example, okay, so here this two print statements will print, but in above this program, I mean the program get interrupted in this particular line, so this particular print statement won't execute. Let's see. So now I can get 2 lines. Maybe I can put the line number as 1. Here I will mention 2. Okay, let's say for example, now let's see here I'm getting 1 end of line, means this particular statement is executing. Okay. Means it is it is the calculations or something logic has been properly taken care. Now I am just putting a variable, changing the variable value as 0. So this time, see here, so it execution stops at this line and comes. So this particular line, whatever the lines are there, so it won't execute. It will come to the exception block. In the exception block, whatever the logic we have written, right? So it will execute. So my error get captured here. Okay, what is the error? Division by 0. That is the error. And my second line also get printed. whatever the logic which we written inside, right? So it will execute properly. Okay. Hope you guys are understood properly. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel.